morning. I'm Keichline here at the GBTA broadcast studio. Joining me today is John Keichline, who is the CEO for North America for Reed Mackay. John, welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Great to have you. I understand you came all the way in from New York.
I did come in from New York, yes.
Good. Has it been a good show for you guys so far?
It's been great. It's actually my first GBTA.
Oh, wow. Well, welcome.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, it's been wonderful. I mean, I got here, right?
Great.
But I had a chance to do host a panel on diversity, equity, and inclusion with some fantastic panelists. It was great. I've really enjoyed doing it. Great audience participation. So yeah, it's been a good couple of days.
Excellent. Well, you've kicked it off. Your first GBTA.
Yes.
We're delighted that you're here.
Thank you so much.
So how has the corporate travel landscape evolved in the U.S. and what changing needs have you observed from your clients?
So technology is becoming more and more important. So millennials, Gen Zers, Gen Xers, they're used to relying on technology. They want seamless technology that really works well, and they don't want to have issues with it. They definitely operate a little differently than us boomers. So it's definitely key to have great technology, but also that tech has to support things that are important to them. We're seeing more about wellness, about inclusion, about sustainability. So tech has become really important that we've seen, but service as well. The way that we've seen travel change quite a bit is we service corporate travel. So we're seeing longer trips with more stops because they're trying to get more out of a trip than doing lots of little trips.
Yeah.
So that adds complexity and really requires that attention to detail that they need as they're making multiple stops along the way. And then sometimes tacking on leisure trips at the end as well, which they also require that same level of service.
I think they call that leisure, right?
They do, they do.
What are the top priorities and trends for U.S. clients when it comes to corporate travel services? What are you seeing on that front?
Yeah, so I think the service aspect, dedicated service is really key. It's funny, I think all of us have seen with the Great Resignation and quiet quitting, service isn't what it used to be. People go to restaurants, people go to hotels, and they feel like something's missing. So now when you're traveling for business and you have really important meetings, you need service to be just perfect. So having someone that's familiar with your travel, you don't have to explain to them millions of questions. They know your preferences. You know that they're there for you, supporting it the whole way. So that dedicated model, tech is important, but having for those more complex trips, the dedicated services is really important. Certainly NDC, that's become a big topic. People want the right content. They want to be able to have access to all content. As a company, we've embraced that. Our parent company is Navan. They were definitely a leader in that. We've followed them and made a lot of progress with companies like Lufthansa and BA, but here in the United States, obviously with AA, worked really closely with them and built really good partnerships. I think another big one is duty of care. Was there an outage of some sort last week? I
don't know.
May have heard about, right? But seriously, when that happened, for a travel manager to be able to rely on a TMC that is being proactive about supplying reports and reaching out to their travelers and re-protecting them and doing everything they can to get them home safely, and even having access for that travel manager to go into a portal and look up that information on their own. It's really key, because when you talk to sometimes prospects, they say, do I really need a travel management company? Well, in situations like that, it's where companies like ours and our peers can really add value. And I think the last thing is sustainability. There's obviously a lot of talk about sustainability. And having worked for the company I'm with now, as well as my previous company that had a big Europe presence, they've been talking about sustainability for years, but in the U.S. now it's absolutely becoming more prominent, and it's more of a key factor in companies' decision making. So one of my colleagues actually on Media Day this week, we launched a new enhancement to our portal as well to support sustainability. So having that presence of supporting that has been really key, and clients are certainly starting to focus on that.
So on that front, sustainability is such a hot topic, and you're right. I think it really was initially more so overseas in Europe, and now here in the U.S., it's top of mind for more people, and it comes up every year at convention.
Yeah.
Still a hot topic.
Absolutely.
What are some best practices around sustainability that you've seen for companies and for managed travel?
Yeah, I think it's about data. Companies need the data in order to make decisions. Because if they have to be able to see what their company is actually doing and how their travelers are behaving before they can make decisions on it. So having access to really good information, how your travelers are booking their travel, and having a system that's in place that already can measure that. So we've been doing that for over a year, and a lot of companies have, where at point of sale you can see what choices are people making. But then the next step is to take that information and build a policy, right? And as I mentioned earlier, my colleague, we launched something this week that says it allows them to build that policy based on data. So you can build a policy not just based on cost, but based on emissions, right? So it's making sure that once you have the data, someone that's running the travel department is not going to make decisions on the firm's sustainability policies, right? They have to meet with senior leadership and determine how sustainable do we want to be, right? Or some companies are really behind it. There are other companies that are talking a lot about it, but they're sort of saying, well, we'll do something by 2050, right? Sort of kick the can down the road. But it's about making those decisions with data and then building a policy that actually supports it. Am I picking the most fuel efficient choice? Can I take a train possibly? Can I do something with a different airline that maybe is a little bit more palatable and maybe it's only an hour later flight? So it's getting that data and then actually using it to build a policy that drives the right behavior for sustainability, again, based on what the company's objectives are, and they're different in every company.
Excellent. Well, John, it sounds like you guys have a lot going on at Reed Mackay, and have a good handle on the issues at hand, and it sounds like it's an exciting time to be there.
It absolutely is. Yes, we're really excited about the future, and I thank you so much for allowing me to be here today and have this conversation. It's been great.
And thank you for joining us. And again, congrats on the first GBTA. Sounds like you've already made the most of it.
Thank you. Absolutely.
Hope you have a great last day here at convention.
Thank you. So. I'm going to get home. I'm confident.
Yes, you are. Thanks, John.
Thank you so much.
I'm Monisa Keichline here at the GBTA Broadcast Studio.